for this particular case study, we implement the software for one of our customer called Oromix, and that we need to introduce them as well for their business. What is the business case, and what is the solution that we propose to them? I can run a very short demo with some of the data from them. Later on, we talk about what can be improved for this program. Okay, first let me introduce Netizen. Netizen, we started in 2000. Actually, we started with e-commerce business, and then we shift ourselves to SAP business after a few years. We start doing our business in SAP. At that moment is maybe SAP ERP 4.6, and keep working closely with SAP. I share the timeline with you guys again. Our area specialty is in SAP S4HANA, and currently we join the SAP RISE program, where we need to introduce SAP S4HANA Cloud to the local business in Thailand. And another major business that we focus is SAP Business by Design, that I am responsible for it. On top of that, we provide a lot of software interfaces, a lot of enhancement from ERP system to the legacy system like warehouse management, bank integration, warehouse management, a lot of enhancement that we have done. Currently, we have more than 80 consultants and still recruiting. We became the United WA member since 2019. Our area of focus still in SAP implementation, as well as providing SAP business consulting, including after-sale service. Okay, these are the spectrum of our solution that we deliver to our customer. So mainly it will be SAP S4HANA and SAP Business by Design. But to be able to achieve those service delivering, we also have a unit for business consulting, so we can make sure that we fully understand what is the real requirement for our customer. And not only the business side or the soft side, we also need someone who have a strong background in infrastructure. So we have to deliver the service for our cloud infrastructure as well. After getting the requirement, have the solid infrastructure, we need to make sure that we can run the operation smoothly. So in the past, we have collaboration with our software. So there's a leading business modeling software, so we can help deliver the SAP implementation project successfully with the three aspects of the business consulting, infrastructure, and operation business process modeling together. As I already mentioned, we started in year 2000. Actually, we start with the SAP e-commerce platform. That's our intention. But only a few years, then we shift our gears toward SAP, where the market over there at that moment was not ready much. We start by doing some integration like workflow or RFID solution, and we keep deliver that like extensibility around SAP ERP. As you can see that we became SAP NetWeaver partner in Thailand since 2007. Later on, we became a partner, like not only the service partner, when we a reseller partner, so we can sell SAP licenses. For today, actually, we start our journey in 2015, where we see that the trend of the world is moving towards to cloud. So we start by working with AWS together with SAP Business by Design. And since then, we can see that there's some room for us to work on SAP Business by Design, where the localization is It is not yet there at that moment. So we start doing our localization since then, and it was certified in 2018, as you can see here, and keep continuing that. Lately, we also join again, show you that we have a tight activity with SAP. A few weeks ago, we spent about an entire week for the SAP hackathon, Hack to Build. And this is our solution that we deliver, our solution called BillX. This BillX is help our customer to ensure that they don't miss any billing document billing period of our customer, so that it can help our customer to ensure that the cash cycle will be met. So this is, we spend about 7 days and every hour together and build up the solution. It can trigger to the mobile phone and acknowledge that that to responsible person, alert them to make sure that there is time for deliver those bills to our customer. And the result that session, we were the winner of that session for Southeast Asia. Go back to SAP Business by Design. As I already mentioned, we have our localization software certified by our government, and this localization is also recognized by SAP. As you see in, I think this is roadmap in 2000 earlier last year, that the country localization is certified by it's recommended by SAP. If for Thailand, it's Netizen. This is showing that this is certification from the Revenue Department. This is in Thai, Netizen Arabica. We call this localization software package as we call it Arabica software, which is the complementary it's complement software on top of SAP Business by Design. But we don't position it as only a set of programs. Actually, our Netizen Arabica is the total solution, including the Thai localization. It's come with taxation. It comes with various forms, customized forms in like Thai style format. Also in a language in Thai as well. On top of that, we simplify the migration template a little bit so that customer can input the data properly, and we build our own proprietary accelerator for the projects. Example of that is the business scenario, where the standard scenario came up with the 36 plus scenarios. Now we develop up to 200, 300 cases already for Thai practice. When we offer the Netizen Arabica product, we also offer them the option to be able to integrate with our software as well. For example, we have a warehouse management software on mobile phone. We have a transportation management. We have a bank payment and integration with exchange rate from Bank of Thailand. So those kind of integration is offered via Netizen Arabica products. During implementation project, we use our in-house tools called Origami platform. This Origami platform help to collect all the knowledge asset during the project. For example, business processes, user manuals, a lot of meeting minutes, schedule plan, and all the change management, all the requirement management, everything in one single platform, so that our customer can go back and recall what we have done during that implementation period to make sure to reduce the argument along the implementation project. So not as I mentioned, our service is not only the software itself, but we also develop the template, business process, knowledge, ability to integrate with some other software, also the practice to help and make sure that our project can run smoothly and be successful. So that's our goal to make it a commitment. Okay, these are the list of SAP Business by Design customers that we deliver for them. Our first customer in Thailand is a small logistic group. This small logistic group, what they do is they're doing logistic service. They are the logistic service provider, and they have a various kind of service, transportation service, warehouse management, external warehouse management. They're also doing the custom duty, import, export, like freight forwarder. So those are the three main businesses. Actually, for Monogistic Group, we introduced SAP Business by Design to in the past they were using SAP B1 and for one company, and when they would like to have a system to accommodate the entire group, so they are looking for nice to use software, easy to maintain, but make sure that they can run multiple companies in one system. So that's why we engage with them with SAP Business by Design, where it's a cloud platform. You don't have to worry about infrastructure. The challenge of this project is, first of all, it's our first customer in Thailand. Second, they are doing the service, so service is quite flexible compared to buying and selling the product. Third is the taxation, because the taxation in Thailand is different, where you consider the product sales or service sales. And finally, in this project, we deliver a lot of software interfaces. We have to interface with the transportation services software, warehouse management software, custom duty software. So from the front office. So that's quite a challenge for us. And in that project, we deliver for 5 companies. And after a few years, their reorganization. So we go back and help them to include a few more companies in the entire landscape. Okay. To name other customer is the Choice Mini Store. Choice Mini Store is a convenience store like 7-Eleven. They take care of the customer in northern part of Thailand. So in this project, we need to integrate with point of sales. Knox Good, unfortunately, they decided not to continue their business. But the challenge of airline business is they have to do the revenue recognition. So we built an interface system for them to make sure that they can collect all the data from the ticketing office and flight management system, and our program help them to perform the revenue recognition. Vong Bandit is another proudly present project. What they do is they're buying and selling rubbers. So we build a portal for their supplier to bid, to argue to sell the rubber latex. So that is and have a lot of purchasing contracts there, like commodity price announcement. So this is a lot of enhancement here. To name other customer, we have a short to be Dollarsian. What they do is they do a catering truck in the airport. Thai KK, they produce label, sticker label. Bangkok Magnet Wine, they manufacture copper wire used for, especially for magnetic device. Parco, they produce automotive part called condenser, evaporator. This is another proudly present customer is that they are using our product and based on our delivery result or service, they can go to the stock market with our system, our operation, our design that we work with them. Patana Intercool, they produce refrigerator, commercial refrigerator. We Food, they produce snacks, biscuits. Oromex is a customer that I'm going to mention in more detail later on. Not only the manufacturing, we also work with some other customer, the Subsin Holding, they're buying and selling CCTV, Tranda Group, International Group, they're buying building material. Shavakit, they buy, sell, and sell rubber tires for like agricultural truck and passenger cars as well. Watchamon, they import goods, import fruits from abroad and then sell locally. For the project, our customer who doing the project is Netizen ourselves. We also using SAP Business by Design. Fire Trade, yeah, they do a lot of projects for condominium and households and tall building for the fire alarm system, fire protection system. So they adopt the revenue recognition and project management in SAP Business by Design. We also help some of our partners, good partners in Japan, help them to work with Sumitomo Rubber in Australia, and Hakuto is another Japanese company, have a trading company in Thailand. Wapco, I think the name is already should be changed already. They also produce the automotive part. We are taking care of that. Okay. From that long list of customers, I'm proud to present that Netizen, we focus on cloud since 2015, as I already mentioned. So since the first year that we have the strategy to move towards cloud, in 2016, we have not started the by design in full scope yet. But at that moment, we were the top cloud innovator partner because we helped one of our customer in Thailand who were running SAP ECC at that moment is SAP ECC from the on-premise infrastructure server to a cloud AWS. So we help them to migrate from the on-premise system to cloud infrastructure, and we got that award because we were the first one who achieved that. And since then, 2017, 18, 19, 20, we were the SAP Business by Design Partner of the Year for Southeast Asia, and hopefully we continue to have that for this year as well. Let's talk about our customer that I'm going to present today. Just a moment, need to share. Okay, our customer that involved in the solution that we deliver to them is called Oromex. So let me jump quickly to their product and service. So what they do is they do surface finishing. They do surface finish. Sorry, they do surface finishing, like metaling on plastic, on metal, and a lot of products here. Mainly, it's for for the surface. What not only the chemical that they provide, they provide the total solution service. Is that they help their own customer to set up the production line, surface finishing line, also make sure that the concentration of the chemical is there, the quality of the outcome of the output is there. So mainly it's not only buying and selling the product or the chemical itself, but also deliver a lot of service. In this project, the challenge of Auromex project is we have to deal with two things. One thing is the service, where they would like to keep record of what have been done, what kind of service of that they deliver to customer. So in the past, before using SAP Business by Design, they were using Salesforce and InfoSight, I believe. And then they came to us trying to find a more complete solution. So we approach them, we talk to them and perform and show them what is the ability of SAP Business by Design. They like it, where we can combine we integrate the operation from the marketing, since starting from the CRM, collecting the requirement from customer, have the lead opportunity management, convert to sales order, all the way to production line and deliver to customer. On top of that, they can do after sales service as well. So they have problem with integration between the sales and the production stock. So SAP Business by Design came to fill in that gap, and then they chose us. But anyway, there's still challenges, because there's two things for challenging. As I already mentioned, the service, they have a deck of or a pile of things that they need to have a checklist. Second would be, since they're buying and selling chemicals, and Thailand is not known for making a chemical ourselves, we have to import a lot of goods from abroad. So they have about 4 or 5 shipments a day that they need to import from abroad. That's it. Our challenge for today is we have to come up with the system, help them to make sure that they can work efficiently. So that's our business case for today. So our business case is to support our Auromex customer, that they have to deal with a lot of import goods. Let me give you a quick overview of what we mean by landed cost. Landed cost is where you import goods from abroad to your company. Along the way, there's a lot of money that you need to spend. Besides the good itself, you have to pay for custom duty, freight, insurance, and services. This is typically the whole thing here we can consider as a landed cost. And based on accounting principle, this landed cost should be part of your product or inventory as well. The challenge for today, we focus on this component, the custom duty. Why is that? Because the custom duty is need to be calculated item by item basis. This is an example of document we got from import goods from our custom department. The value here for each item is based on the harmonized code, based on the tariff rate, and this is shown in local currency. So you cannot calculate anything beforehand, and don't have like at the time you create your purchase order, you don't know this amount to be precise, because the exchange rate may be changed. And the tariff rate for each item may not be equal. Some is 5%, some is 0%, some with 15%. So you may not have it for precise. So in order to capture the accurate inventory cost, you need to add it one by one. Okay, that's our challenge. There's two ways to capture landed cost in SAP Business by Design. This is based on the current. I know that SAP plan to have the feature of and function of landed cost coming in maybe a few release after this. But at the moment in 2008, what we have is you have a landed cost in purchase order. So you can add the price component here. The challenge for this functionality, if we use this function, is the currency. As I already mentioned, currency should be in Thai. But when you buying and selling abroad, typically we go with the US or Euro. This amount also reflect in purchase order amount, so that can be misleading, as well as account payable amount can be different from the goods that you purchase because it includes all this landed cost as well. The challenge again come to efficient data input because you have to input all these landed costs line by line, and it takes time. Another option is to post it afterwards. So we post it during the supplier invoice. So that's Stefan. Thank you for helping us identify how to capture the correct information in SAP Business by Design. Have mentioned your block here. That's we can achieve the accurate inventory cost, but our challenge for this particular customer is that they have a lot of containers daily, and each shipment they have about 60, maybe up to 200 distinct items in one particular container. So if they have to input one by one, it takes time. So in this as-is process, okay, for in SAP Business by Design, you can see if for the unlanded cost, first you post purchasing of products. Later on, you capture landed cost for particular scenario here. We would like to capture custom duty, so we create subsequent debit item respect to our goods or the product supplier invoice. So let's say if we do that in the system, what we need to do is first we change the item for each item here to additional cost debit item. Then need to input description. What do you need? Input net amount. We consider as an inventory cost, so there's no tax here. And then click the next tab. Distribute to the original invoices. Click on the invoice. Select the right one. Search it. Make sure that it's pop out. And then select. Click close. Then you add the item of the invoice. Again, select the right one. In case of Oromex, they could have plenty of them because they have about 60 to 200 items per invoices. So that takes time for them to scroll and make sure that they select the right one. And they need to click close. Then click distribute. And now you can add a new row. So in total, that takes about 15 steps for one particular line item to be able to capture the custom duty, and they do this for 60 or 70 line items. Okay, so in our to-be process, so we develop a program. To replace that kind of function. So we're using an API called Manage Supplier Invoice to attempt, I would say, to create custom duty invoice. Okay, this is the screen. Let me show you the system, how it works in the systems. Moment. Okay. Let's say this is how it works in the system. So we developed, make sure that I still copy the invoice. Just a moment. I have my supplier invoice here. Okay, good. Okay, we have custom duty invoice here. Our program is to you create a new custom invoice based on the supplier, the product supplier invoice that you want to refer to. So you hit go. Okay, based on that, next, our program would help retrieve all the related information. As you see that you have about 4 line items here, and 3 are pre-filled. So this you input the customs invoice number. And we already pre-fill the description, taxes, and populate all the line items here. What user need to be performing is just input the data here based on the document that they receive from our custom department. Okay. One challenge though, I cannot change the item type. This managed supplier invoice web service allow us to use only subsequent debit item, but actually we would like to use additional cost debit item. And here everything is filled in already, and then you can click finish. Okay. Somehow we cannot make it trigger automatically. We need to create as a job run. And you can see that here we have our job. It's running in progress. Yeah, we'll come back and take a look at that later on. Let me, to save your time, and let me go back to my presentation to finish off, and then maybe answer some of your questions. Okay, back here. Okay, so to be quick, for each of the line item, we just simply adjust the net amount, and everything is pre-filled. Everything is the same. You wait for review and finish the job. I already covered demo. This is the voice from our customer, Kun Premjit. She is the accounting manager of Oramex. She compared it with the standard functionality, and she's noticed that it's much more convenient to input the import cost compared to the standard function. But just tiny things, it will be good if the document can be posted to the custom duty department instead of the product supplier. So that's one of the things that she would like us to improve. Okay, and that if we do the mathematics, you can see that in one particular line item with the standard function, it takes about 15 clicks, and they have roughly actually they have about 50, 60 line item per document. Each click, it takes about 2 seconds. So they would need about 900 seconds per document, or about 15 minutes to complete one document. For them, they do a lot of import export. So they import about 200, 300 containers a month. So that consider like 3,000 minutes, or about of like 25% of their time spending on data input. With this function, we switch it to only 1 click per line item. Still have 30 line item, 2 seconds per click. However, we need to do some conversion here because you need to like repost the account payable to the correct one. So it will take about 200 minutes something. So it's about 10 times faster comparing to like 3,000 minutes approximately. So in summary, what we deliver for them is the faster way to input, and of course that help to reduce the human error, get more accurate data, and with that they can make sure that their business run smoothly. This particular solution is right now is implementing for another customer of ours called Cityport Associate. Cityport Associate also import a lot. They are buying and they're selling like measuring instrument, equipment calibration, high-tech devices. So they import a lot as well, a lot of container, and each time they have to import spare parts and a lot of components. So we hope that this solution will help them to reduce the inefficiency. Okay. We almost there. Okay. The last thing I would like to mention is with the standard managed supplier invoice, we can only post subsequent debit item. However, in the block, Stefan mentioned, if we would like to post the things for landed cost, if we can send the document item type of 004 with managed supplier invoice, that would be nice. Currently, they still need to repost it to appropriate account payables, because at this moment, still the same supplier, but they need to post it to custom duty supplier. Okay, that's it for me. I'm not sure if I speak too fast.
You, Tim. No, that was perfectly timed.
Yeah, I think it's already spent about. I think it's about time.
Perfectly timed, absolutely bang on the time. So thank you so much, Kim. That was a great presentation and wonderful to have the demo there as well. So I'm going to hand over to Reinhard, and he's going to take a look at maybe some questions that we got in the chat. And then, of course, if anybody would verbally like to just ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Tim, thank you very much for your time. So it was, the time, it was perfect, so just in time, so that we have still 15 minutes for the QA session. So that was great. I think it's very impressive to see what you achieved already so far in just a few years of working as partner for Business by Design. So I think it's great insights. But we just start with the Q&A, I think, to use the time that we have. We do have one question in the chat. It's from Antonio. Yep. So maybe instead of reading it out of the chat, Antonio, if you would like to just unmute yourself and ask your question.
Antonio, nice to meet you again.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I have many questions. I'm very glad that you present all these details. Unfortunately, I'm not the expert on the landed cost, so my question is going to be more on the business side. I mean, for me, you're a pioneer or pioneer. I mean, you brought a product which is not localized. I mean, we don't sell in Thailand, and you made the magic. I mean, how was the recipe for you to select by design and do the localization that you can success with so many customers? Because you saw a couple of customers, but I know you are growing the number of customers in all the industries. I mean, what is the big bang on your end? I mean, why by design, and how the platform from by design allows you to go so far with your customer? What is the beauty on that, and how have you done that? Can you tell us a bit more about the initial point?
Yeah, admittedly, earlier we believe first of all we believe that SAP deliver good product for customers. And we understand that SAP Business by Design is not localized. And we know that the localization is already there for SAP S/4HANA. And after we study the software, we we find some similarities. I admit that we find some similarities, like sales. You have sales organization with in SAP S/4HANA also have sales organization, distribution channel. Things are quite similar. So we believe that it is doable, and SAP also providing the instruction for SAP I would say localization toolkits that we can follow. So we follow that localization toolkit at the first. I admit to you that, and in our early project, we have to put a lot of effort to learn and understand what is there. But after a few projects, now we become familiar with the technology. I think it provides enough flexibility for us to move on. And then we can continue. We are more confident to grow with the larger market. Otherwise, it's like if the product is not there, if the tool localization toolkit is not there, then it's quite a challenge for us as well. If the software is too rigid, because we see that if you have adaptation or those kind of things, it should be flexible enough to serve our needs, our customer needs.
Okay, and then the next question, because basically related with my initial question, you mentioned about you are certified by the local authorities.
Yep.
I mean, sounds like you have to be certified to be compliant, right, with all the financial results or whatever kind of the accounting. I mean, what are the steps that you have to take to certify your solution, Netizen Arabica? I mean, is a specific scenario? Is in taxes, invoice? I mean, what are the requirements that you need to fulfill?
Oh, mainly it's about tax in Thailand. Okay, it's about tax, and we need to go through the checklist. Okay, the checklist of our tax authority that our software need to comply A, B, C, D, E, and not only that, we have to perform the live demo for them and make sure that okay, number 1 pass, number 2 pass, number 3, number 4, number 5. There's a few things that it's not deliver from the standard pre-localization. We need to do it on ourselves as well to be able to comply all those things. For example, it's running number. Yeah, the challenge in Thailand for taxation is running number. All the documents have to be run in sequential manner, like that. And yeah, that's an example of challenge.
And this kind of check mark helps you to sell more into to get trust in your customers, right? Or your prospects.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Our customer, the main customer for SME Thailand, I would say that what initial goal for them is go to the stock market to be public size, and they need some system that make sure that endorse they're confident that okay, they choose the right one, the right system, so that their stakeholders are comfortable in their business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I have many more questions, but I like to leave the audience, and probably we will come back to you, Kim, to know a bit more details about the LTK, because we are putting some efforts internally in the LTK, and perhaps you have some kind of suggestions that we would like to take over.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Antonio. So other questions? Colleagues?
I have a question from Nitesh, implementation. For customer in Thailand, there have been M&A activities. This investment needs whereby. Yep.
Nitesh here. Nitesh here. Thanks for reading that through. But maybe I will shorten the question for you to understand, right? If that's okay. And please excuse me that I'm not able to start my camera because I've placed my laptop in a very funny place, if you know what I mean. All right. So my point, Kim, I liked what you saw, what I saw, yeah, and how great it was in terms of what you achieved across industries, right? This is awesome, and you understand also the I'm sure the way industry and the way business happens there in Thailand. And thanks for supporting SAP there. Yeah, I appreciate that. Now from that going down, and as I also believe that based on our experiences and based on the current conditions that we have faced in the last 1 or 2 years, right? I'm sure based on the quick pace as in APAC and APJ, there will be a lot of places where there is a lot of M&A, mergers and acquisitions that would be happening and so on. Also maybe disinvestment reasons. And I was wondering if you had any specific cases which you want to, I mean, you have a lot of engineering here in the round here, Kim, right? And it's fine in case you can just throw out any one pagers or one lines in which you would have seen maybe SAP standard development would have been good to have those cases handled.
I'm not sure.
It was clear or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I understand your question correctly or not. But from our experience, in my slides, I believe I mentioned one of our customer. Actually, that our customer, first customer, but not in Thailand. They are in Australia. Sumitomo Rubber. We work closely with our partner, and what they do is this company Sumitomo Rubber acquire a company in Australia. And they decided to change the system to one single system because I believe that the mother company using SAP ECC, and then they would like the system that compatible and integrate with the mother company. After they want to acquire, they do everything in the back end without the front office knowing what's going on. We support them in Perth. I believe it's in Perth, for replacing the system. We perform the data migration, cut over. We teach the team, the customer team, about only the week over the weekend, and on Monday they have to change from the legacy system to SAP Business by Design immediately, and that's how easy it was. But I Nitesh, to be frank, in Thailand, it's different culture. In Thai culture, people still need you to incubate a lot, teach them a lot. The practice of merger and acquisition for the service delivery could be different, but the software itself, yes, it's easy. Australian, they're familiar with English. That's good. In Thailand, when it comes to language, there's also language barrier. I would need to admit that for people to adopt it quicker. So yeah, I don't know whether I answer your question, but the software itself is for us. We find it simple enough. We also list and elaborate in detail the many of business cases so that they understand what in this situation. For example, if they would like to do check return, how would be the steps in SAP Business by Design? To be precise, we do that kind of supplementary document on top of what SAP deliver to make sure that we can implement the project faster and our customer know what to do with the system.
Good. So thanks, Kim, for the answer. So what I understood, Kim, frankly, is basically you had cases where the Thai company was taken over by an Australian legal entity headquartered, right? And there, with the migration services by design you could have that performed, is what I understood, which is great to hear. And also the documentation as we have for specific transactions like check delivery, check returns, and everything is something that is useful. And you have to add maybe a few steps on top to incubate the users in terms of understanding. I understood that. Good. Thanks for the feedback there.
Yeah, BMC is another example. Bangkok Method Y. The mother company is in Thailand. They are using ECC as well. They set up this new business because they understand that the magnetic solution is coming. A lot of people still require magnetic. They know that magnetic Y is different from electrical Y. So they build another company just targeted for that. and they decided they would like to reduce the infrastructure cost and see how, and we help with them with the new. We start the project without having the factory itself. we can run it.
Good to know.
We have,
Thanks for it.
we have
Maybe
some,
other questions can come.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Tim. So, Tim, we have another question. Maybe we can, because we have some minutes to go, so maybe we can answer one or two additional questions. So Tess is asking, what are the main technical challenges that you had while enhancing by design? So it was landed cost, but it's also the localization of Thailand. Mm-hmm. So do you have some example of what are the main challenges you had to achieve that?
Our main challenge to have is the things that we can perform with the SAP UI log on. It's different from what can be performed with API or Cloud Studio. So okay. we cannot predict if we can do it by UI. It can be done with the API or not. So we need to test a lot to make sure that we can replicate the result.
Yeah. Okay. You mean when you have a challenge by the customer, you try first to solve it manually, right? And you see what you can do in the system.
Yes.
And then for that you want to automate
it.
To promise the customer, it can be done. And to build it in the same way, right? And then you have a mismatch between what you can do manually and what you can do with the
right. Okay. So that's the challenge. Yeah. From Antonio, the language adaptation tool for by design, and what extent I admit that I have not started that project yet for the language adaptation tool. We tested a bit, but still currently try to deliver the functionalities, new functionalities to customer, and then make sure that they are familiar with English language at the moment. Mm-hmm. So that because all the help document of SAP is still in English, so we would encourage them to be familiar with English to be able to help themselves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Krishna, do you would like to unmute yourself and ask your question? You want to have some more details about the supplier invoice?
Yes, thanks, Reinhard. So thanks a lot for the demo. Really helped. Okay, just have one query. I understand due to a series of steps for doing the distribution, there is a bit of a problem, and hence you created a custom object where you have actually created these steps, and then you ran an MDR warrant. So eventually you are creating an SIV there, or from there you are directly creating the required swing postings?
Yeah, if you can see my screen, I start with the supplier invoice with number 99. And then we create, successfully with this supplier invoice, yes.
And what is the item? Okay, you have used the subsequent debit item there.
Right. Because the standard managed service supplier invoice allow us to post only this type.
Okay, so for each and every distribution, you have created a line item here, is it?
Right, because the value here, the net price for each item is not different. It's different, so we have to input one by one.
Okay, so if you say that you want to create a custom invoice of, let's say, 100 Thai bahts, which you want to distribute across 4 different invoices. So now you create 4 different line items in the invoice. Is that understanding correct?
I would maybe, colleagues, Krishna, I would maybe propose the following, as we are already approaching 10 o'clock, and I think you're going very into the details.
Okay.
I think like we did it as well in the past, Krishna and team, maybe we can have an additional call, right? When we can discuss these details, and maybe we find a way how we can better support if we have a better understanding. Is that fine for you, Krishna?
Yes, perfectly fine. Yeah, thanks, Reinhard. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks for the demo again. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Great. So I think I also had some questions that I prepared, but the colleagues had already a lot as well. So, and we are already on top of the hour, unfortunately. I think we could continue for still 15 or 20 minutes asking questions. Okay, but the time is over.
Okay.
So Lillian, over to you again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Reinhard. And thank you, Kim, for a great presentation, and to everyone for your questions. And we will try to follow up on the remaining ones that are left. So thank you all for your participation. If you can take a few seconds to do the poll before you leave, that would be fantastic. And again, many thanks to Kim for taking the time to present to us and prepare such an interesting presentation and demo and give us a real feel for what Netizen do. And we will remain online for post-conference. Presenters, please, and everyone else, thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.